Welcome to the end of day review for Monday, the 4th of December 2023. As usual, starting off with the economic calendar, you can see for Monday, December 4th, there was no significant impact news for the pound or for the USD. Jumping into the charts for GBPUSD, starting with a 4-hour. As you can see, we are still in this confirmed market structure bullish trend. In terms of order flow, we've recently had a 4H OB change character with a body break right here, and this then validated the pullback phase, which then created this primary leg. Within this primary leg, we then have this 4H pullback phase OB, from which we can validate secondary leg OBs on the 5, 15 minute and 30 minute. In terms of the pro trend OBs, we've got this pro trend OB, which is, if you look at the way it's formed, it's a bit of a range, which is fine. It also creates a primary leg. However, the primary leg is validated from M15, M5 order flow, shifting from this initial reaction point. This creates a primary leg on the 5 and 15 minute, and therefore to validate any secondary legs, we will need precise unmitigated M5, M15 OBs to then validate the secondary leg in order to trade longs for the day. In terms of the 15 minute, what you will see is Asia started right around here. We had the Asia create high of the days, and then from then on, because we have this area provided by the pullback phase primary leg right here, you've got this 4H OB, and then we're essentially looking to validate that supply is in control. You can see we had the 15-minute change of character. Unfortunately, at no point did we have clear evidence that supply is actually in control, and you can see from this point we may have had a reaction here, and I used this entire range because there was a window of imbalance. But if we ignore the window of imbalance and say this is the unmitigated OB that this reacted to, you can see that the candle bodies effectively broke this POI, which thus invalidated the fact that supply is holding, or it makes it significantly more difficult to validate that supply is actually holding. I guess when you do have this break of structure, you can perhaps say that it did ultimately reflect or hold from this supply OB. However, it's quite judgmental, and the other factor against us trading from here is the fact that at the time we didn't have this break of structure, so it's hard to tell whether this is actually going to hold, and it's not like it's weeks where we can say okay, it's fine. And the other factor for not trading here or here for that matter is the fact that the Fibonacci's don't align. Given that this was London, I was more inclined to wait for a 38.6 fib to be reacted from, but that never happened. And then what you can see is when New York opened, we effectively went down and would have reached our target for the day. So this is how had supply actually been properly validated in control from somewhere right here, I'd probably put my entry right around there with 20 pips, targeting right somewhere around here, because 20 plus about 70 is 90, and my ADR is about 90, and you can see price moved way more than 90, so my target would be about 3.5. However, none of it really lined up quite nicely. And then in terms of longs were valid. However, the order flow didn't really cater for it. You can see at no point did we have another change of character with demand taking control. We may have had a change of character here, and this demand could have held, but it didn't. And from I guess another thing to then consider is, because this is the pro trend primary leg, and there's no 4H OB areas to help us validate the secondary leg, this where we start to build a secondary leg will effectively need to mitigate a pro trend leg support OB. And you can see there isn't anything significant. There's these buy to sell wicks, which I'm not a fan of. yeah, so that's that. And on the 5 minute, it's a similar situation. In terms of longs, there's nothing really to support it. There's no evidence of a lower wick on this candle. Yes, it swept these, but it's just a liquidity grab, and it's quite hard to justify why why this is valid. Um, so that's one aspect against shorting, and then you can see here from the break of the Asia range and into Frankfurt and in London, there was a nice supply chain forming. However, given where the Asia high of today is, the fibs just didn't align. And yeah, so nothing really made sense today in terms of order flow wise. The ideas did play out and the shorts did play out, but in terms of actually finding your entry point, it was quite sketchy for today. Yeah, that brings me to the end of day review. I'll overlay um, some markups that I've done for my end of day data collection, but other than that, we'll chat again tomorrow for the London outlook.